I'm playing the long game now. I don't care how long it takes. I really want to get a new HBO Min laptop. If you want to help, donation link in the description below. As you know, the full demo doesn't come out until, or rather the full game doesn't come out until September 6th. So it's time to cover the other side. Ace Attorney Investigations 2. This game, when we get the full version, I will be talking about it. Trust me, it's going to be a long one. Let us begin with Prosecutor's Gambit. And the the start of the first episode, Turnabout Trigger. But I refer to it as Turnabout Target.
Here he comes! The presidential plane descends from the western skies, bringing a message of hope. It's making its final approach and lands right on Court Lake! Just listen to that crowd! Welcome, Zhangfa! Welcome, Mr. President! And now, sir, your audience awaits. Honored friends and allies, I am here today to deliver a message. The odious criminals that dodge my beloved nation are no more, thanks to the prosecutor's office of your great country. You have our most heartfelt gratitude. However, friends, do not forget, the battle against evil rages on. Here today, I make you this solemn promise. We shall crush the wicked with the righteous hammer of justice! Ah!
Call the prosecutor's office. Get Miles Edgeworth here right away. If anyone can solve this, he can. March 25th, 2:46 p.m., Court Lake, spectator area. The news must be halfway around the world already. After all, it's not every day an attempt is made on the life of a nation's president. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor. I came as soon as I got the call. The moment the phone rang, I knew it was serious.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Thank goodness you're here, sir. This is Dick Gumshoe, a detective with the local precinct. He's the one usually assigned to my cases. How is the president, detective? We still don't know, Mr. Edgeworth. The medics just boarded the plane a few minutes ago. I see. I hope he's all right. And I suppose you'd better show me the scene of the crime instead. Right away, sir. Hey! I said hey! Yeah! You! Ruffles! Who's that? You're the prosecutor in charge of this here case, ain't ya? Want to give me your first impressions? Anything strike y'all as odd? No comment. Detective Gumshoe, with me. Come on now, Mr. Prosecutor, don't be like that. Mr. Edgeworth, wait for me. Now, detective, I'll need the facts of the case as in much detail as you can give me. Well, the scene was right here at Court Lake, as you already know. A bunch of people were gathered to welcome the president of Zhangfa. Di Junwei. Yes, I read about his visit. It's been all over the news for days now. Newspaper clipping data jotted down. It was raining until just before he landed. Luckily it let up and he went on stage as planned. And then smack dab in the middle of his speech, bang! A gun goes off and everybody runs for cover, terrified for their lives. Apparently. Truth is, I only just showed up myself. I don't know a whole lot more than you do, sir. You were summoned on short notice as well. Sure was. Right in the middle of my day off. I was at the office taking advantage of the peace and quiet to prepare for my next case.
And then the boss himself calls you to the scene. Never a dull moment, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? Boss? Yeah, Chief Prosecutor was right here in the park. Saw the whole thing. First chance he got, he yelled over the top of his lungs. Get me Edgeworth right away. He's the only man for the job. Something like that. I see. Oh, they cordoned the perimeter of the park off as soon as it happened. You'll be happy to know. So our would-be assassin is still here somewhere. Good. Now all you gotta do is find him in the middle of that crowd, before they strike again. You're right. We don't know what else our culprit might be planning. These people are in danger. We don't have a moment to lose. Let's begin with the basics, and search every inch of the crime scene for clues, no matter how insignificant they may seem. Precisely. The president was shot at, which means a gun was involved. That was our first clue. Alright, duly noted. Detective Gumshoe. How exactly was the security detail surrounding the president's speech organized? Well, sir, our officers are mainly focused on securing the perimeter of the park. The president's people took charge of the rest. He had his own team of bodyguards. See those guys over there? Maybe we should ask them a few questions. If I want to talk with them, I'll need to walk over and press the A button. Which is what we'll do. Can I help you? You're one of the president's bodyguards, correct? Could you tell me how his security detail was arranged during the speech? 2 of our senior operatives were attached to the president. The rest secure the stage. This isn't our first rodeo. Anything suspicious in that crowd and we would have spotted right away. I see. So the president's security was tightly orchestrated for the duration of his speech. Let's investigate further. We should speak with other witnesses and continue to look over the crime scene. We can't afford to leave any stone unturned. So that's how you all go about it, huh? Sure is something. Seeing the pros at work. Care to share a little about what happens to that information once you got a hold of it? Bystanders. This one seems persistent. I can't afford to get distracted. Hey, Ruffles! I asked you a question, dang it! What happens next? Well, we put all the information together and try to find connections. Right, sir? Detective! Don't be so hard on the poor guy. So, connections you say. And what next? Well, I guess you say we connect the dots. Connect one piece of information to another. It's Mr. Edgeworth's forte. He's a logic master. I can view what information I have with L and then connect them with the X button. I should try it now. Just a quick press of L and we'll be down the path of logic. Now we need to connect it. President was shot out, event security. Despite the president's tight security, the perpetrators still managed to carry out their attack, completely undetected by a contingent of highly trained bodyguards, no less. No mean feat. This would have taken some serious planning. In other words, the assassination attempt was almost certainly planned. That's the stuff, Mr. Edgeworth. The old logic never fails, huh? Indeed. All we need to do is find the right clues, then make the right connections between them. Make the wrong connections, however, and we'll only wind up further from the truth. Which means I must make well-reasoned connections if I intend to draw logical conclusions. Begin investigation. Gourd Lake, lakeside stage. Let's get this investigation started. Time to examine anything that looks suspicious. To examine things, I simply need to walk up to them and press the A button. And if I wish to speak with the detective, I should use X. Alright, let's check this one here. There's a bright red balloon bobbing on the surface of the lake. Reminds me of sending balloon letters back when I was a kid. You write a letter, see, then you tie to a balloon and send it floating off to see if somebody writes back. That's quite an ingenious idea. And? Did anybody write back? No. Kinda need a balloon that actually floats first. That's where your plan fell apart? Yeah, what the hell? No! I was as surprised as you, sir. There's no mistaking it. It's the Steel Samurai! The Steel Samurai, warrior of Neo Old Tokyo.
It's a popular TV show. Old, young, it doesn't matter. It truly has something for everyone.
Beats me why they had a steel samurai balloon as a welcome party for a foreign president.
It's a little odd, although now that I think about it, what better hero to represent our nation? I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Yeah, like this.
Breaks your heart, don't it?
It does. What villainy could have befallen? Witnesses said he popped right about when the gun went off, which would strongly suggest that a bullet struck the balloon.
Looks like we got a case of cold-blooded samurai murder on our hands. This is sacrilege. I won't rest until the culprit has been apprehended.
Detective, we cannot let this vile assassin escape.
We won't, sir. You can count on it.
Steel samurai balloon data jotted down. It's the flag of Zhengfa. The key motif is a blazing red phoenix.
Wait, what's this? Something the matter, sir?
You don't see it, Detective. There's something unusual about this flag. Compare it with the one on the other side of the stage, if you will.
Oh, that's a beauty right there.
Just look at it flapping in the wind. It's immaculate. Exactly, which is how a flag should look. And yet here we see quite a different picture. One thing in particular stands out, don't you think?
Right, of course. I give up. Come on, spill the beans.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't get it to drink. I'll just have to move the cursor to the problematic spot and highlight the difference with the X button. This hole right here.
Take that!
Look closely. Do you see the hole?
Whoa, look at that.
You're right, sir. And note the burn marks around the edges. That's a bullet hole. There's no mistaking it.
A bullet hole? You're saying a bullet went through this flag?
I think I've gathered enough information for the moment. Time to put the pieces together and see what we can figure out. Commence logic. Flag with the bullet hole and the pop balloon. There is a bullet hole in the flag, and it seems highly likely the balloon was popped by a bullet too.
Which means 2 shots were fired, right, sir?
Possibly even 3. The president was shot there as well, remember? Equally, the hole in the flag and the hole in the balloon could have been made by the same bullet. What we need to know is how many gunshots there were. Investigation complete. Alright, on with the
Ruffles! Ruffles! Y'all figure something out, huh? Care to share?
Who exactly is she? And why does she keep shouting at us?
Rubbernecker, I guess. Seems pretty interested in the case. Come on! Give me something here!
We do need to speak with some witnesses to find out how many gunshots there were. Fine, let's see if she can tell us anything.
There y'all are. Tabby, Lloyd, at your service. I'm looking into the case for, well, just for me right now, but...
Looking into the case? Miss Lloyd, was it? Miss Lloyd, there's something I'd like to share.
Well, what can you tell me? Any exclusive details you want to share? How about the perp? Have they made any demands? What about them there, Ruffles? Where does a fella buy a cravat like that?
Hold it!
Will you be quiet for a moment? I'll be asking the questions here.
Dang! And here I thought I could get me something juicy for my piece.
I need to know about the shooting. Can you tell me how many gunshots you heard?
Why, I most certainly cannot.
I beg your pardon?
I can't just be handing out leads for free. That stuff's my livelihood.
Aw, come on! Don't hold on us. We all gotta share sometimes.
Me? Hold on you? Well, if y'all gonna be like that, I'll be moving right along. Goodbye! Wait for what exactly, huh? Huh? If you got nothing for me, I'm gone.
We're fresh out of moves here.
Out of moves, I wouldn't be so sure.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
As you know, Detective, I like to play a little chess. And what does one do in chess when an opponent adopts a defensive position? Why, the board offers any number of options, but some are more effective than others.
Sorry, sir, but this is all going way over my head.
No matter how impenetrable an opponent's defense may seem, it can always be overcome. Watch and learn, detective, as I shatter my opponent's resolve with the power of words. When attempting to draw at an entrenched opponent, one must employ certain tactics. Let us picture the board and see if we can anticipate our adversary's next move. Now, we must analyze the state of play.
Y'all ain't getting nothing out of me.
Not until you give me something in return. My opponent has dug herself in deep. Her defenses won't be easily broken. A pawn and a knight. But I can't afford to try her patience by taking too long to plot my next move. In other words, I must be conscious not just of my strategy, but also of the passing of time. That said, I can't afford to waste words either. In fact, it can pay dividends not to. If my opponent gets too agitated,
If you're fixing to ask me something, well, you dang well ask it already.
I may be able to gain a tactical advantage by calmly biding my time. Then, when I see a crack in my opponent's armor, I pounce. I should begin by finding out what is it that she does. Alright, time to make my opening gambit. Mind chess, start! Alright, what is it that you do? Why don't you begin by telling me about what it is that you do?
Sure, or I could totally not do that. Think I don't know when to keep my mouth shut? That's my job.
Is it now? So you do something you won't or can't tell anybody about?
Shut up! I ain't no lawbreaker if that's what you're insinuating.
Biding time.
I'm a law-abiding, everyday citizen, and you got no reason to say otherwise.
Forgive me, I meant nothing by it. If it's something you can't tell me about, I imagine it must be very important work indeed.
Sure, I guess. Leastways, it'll be once I bag me my first big scoop.
Wait, what was that? Huh. I see. It's a scoop you're after. So you're a journalist, is that correct?
Dang! Sure. I'm your friendly neighborhood reporter. The hungriest cub on the beat.
And yes, that's a queen, not a knight. I messed up. That's the mystery of what she does for a living soul. Perhaps our hungry young cub has gathered information vital to the case. Let's make that our next night. With the opening moves concluded, the mid-game approaches. What else does she have to tell us? Were you at the scene of the crime? At the time of the incident, were you present at the scene of the crime?
Come on now, Ruffles. You ain't gonna give little old Tabby something first.
Absolutely not.
Then I ain't giving you nothing neither. You think I'm a sucker? Think again. Come on. This is my career we're talking about here. You gotta give me something.
Sadly, the more you know, the more you might find yourself in danger.
I ain't scared. I'm a pro. It takes more than the sound of a little gunshot to faze me.
You heard gunfire, did you? You may be a pro, as you put it, but I'd say you're still a little wet behind the ears. You say you heard gunfire, which proves you were here at the time of the crime. Therefore, you must have seen something.
Double dang! Fine, I was here. I saw it. Came to report on the big speech, wound up reporting on a shooting. And you won't get no more out of me than that. I'm done with your tricks, Ruffles.
If she came to report on the event, she must have made a record of some kind. A record I would very much like to get my hands on. This is quite the clue as to where to take this conversation next. Where's the record of your reporting? You're a reporter, which means you must have been making a record of some kind.
You've got more questions. You gotta give me something first. That's the deal.
I am not in the habit of making deals. Now tell me what I need to know.
Sorry, Ruffles. Can't help you.
Time to deploy my clue. No self-respecting reporter would leave the house without a means of putting things on the record. So tell me, Miss Lloyd, where is yours?
Of course I made a record. I told you, I'm a pro. Dang near wore my shoes out running around on this one. Which is why I'm not about to just hand it over to the first person who asks me.
I am not just anyone, young lady. I am the prosecutor in charge of this case.
Don't you young lady me. You ain't getting it. no matter how many times you ask. You understand, don't you, Ruffles? It ain't nothing personal.
I understand that your job is a difficult one.
You do? Well, ain't that sweet?
And in such a competitive field, you must sometimes doubt that you'll ever succeed.
Nah, I'll go plenty far, I'm sure of it. Yeah, just as long as I got my trusty tape recorder, I'll always be ready to nab me a scoop.
Really? Play me that tape. Intriguing. A young reporter hungry for success, so dedicated to her craft that to leave such an important event unrecorded would be unthinkable. And indeed, she did not. She committed the entire event to tape.
Ah! Dang it! This is my scope you're messing with! My big break! Fine, sure. I recorded the whole darn thing. It's all right here. You got me, okay?
Checkmate. Logic chess complete.
You're something else, Ruffles. I was trying to be all strong and silent, but you had me singing like a canary.
Never mind that. Now play us the tape. This should finally tell us how many shots were fired.
Fine, you can hear it, but I got conditions. You played me like a fiddle, Ruffles. Only the chief ever played me so good. So you gotta agree to be chief number 2 and be mentor to a rising star, aka me.
Chief number 2, huh? Kinda like a second parent. That's a big responsibility, sir.
And one more thing. I want exclusive reporting rights for the first 24 hours. Come on, you gotta say yes. What kind of mentor wouldn't give his star people the exclusive, huh?
She's a difficult woman to refuse, and I need to hear that recording. 24 hours is more than I can promise, but the story's yours until the case is solved.
And the job of chief number 2?
I think not.
Gah! You're no fun, but I guess a girl can't have everything. All for the sake of the scoop, huh? Alright, you got yourself a deal. I got exclusive access starting right this second, Ruffles.
Good. Then our first order of business is to listen to that tape. Honored friends and allies, I am here today to deliver a message. The odious criminal that dodged my beloved nation are no more. The president's speech. The president passionately addresses the assembled crowd,
as if trying to shake off the reports of his declining popularity by sheer force of will. That there's me. Can't beat a little live commentary to set the scene. The meeting is scheduled for just after the speech, correct? He seems pretty pleased to be able to put the whole Yatagarasu situation behind him. As well he should be. This is a great day for all of us.
Whose voices are these?
Oh, there were these 2 old guys standing right in front of me. They were whispering away to each other the whole darn time.
I know their voices from somewhere.
Wait, the part where the gun goes off is right after this. The president thrusts his fist into the air as the excitement reaches fever pitch.
The battle against evil rages on. Here today, I make you this solemn promise. We shall crush the wicked with the righteous hammer of justice. What the?
Ah!
We got her tape. So, 2 shots were fired.
Yup, and that tells us something.
Something very important indeed. It allows us to deduce the trajectory of one of our bullets. Of the 2 shots fired, 1 hit the president, which means the other must have passed through both the flag and the balloon in that order, which, as you can see, allows us to deduce the position of our shooter. The only possible place from which a bullet could have been fired through the flag and into the balloon is in the left side of this area here.
Take that!
Drawing a line between the flag and the balloon gives us the trajectory of one of our bullets, and places our shooter on the left-hand side of the spectator area. We obtain bullet trajectory.
You're a genius, Mr. Edgeworth.
Detective Gumshoe, I'll need to examine the left side of the spectator area.
Roger that, sir.
So, you need me to clear all these people out of the way, I guess? I do. And what evidence remains to be found may already be deteriorating. So I'll need you to be quick about it. Yes, sir!
Chief! Hey, I'm talking to you, Chief.
I suppose you mean me, Miss Lloyd?
I surely do. You gotta let me help out. This stuff's my forte. I'm the best crowd herder you ever did see. I'll prod, pummel, and push him wherever you like.
A very kind offer, but I think a less hands-on approach might be preferable. Also about this chief business, I am nobody's chief.
Whatever you say, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Your wish is my command.
I somehow doubt that. Here you go, sir. It's all ready for you. Miss Lloyd here cleared everybody out just like that. You should have seen it.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing. The chief, my other chief that is, she sends them running twice as quick.
She sounds like quite a formidable character. Perhaps I should go easier on the poor girl. Thank you, but you really shouldn't have. All that running around. Your clothes are covered in mud. Allow me to pay for the cleaning. It's the least I can do.
Huh? You mean my jacket? Oh, don't you be worrying your pretty little head about that. It's reversible. All you gotta do is switch it around. And Alakazam, no more dirt.
On the outside, perhaps, but you still have something of a problem with the inside. Ready to get back to the investigation wherever you are, sir. The crowd has trampled the entire area. We'll be lucky to find any traces of our shooter at all. Investigation start. And who are you?
Well, this is quite the situation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Edgeworth?
Who is he again?
It's Payne, Mr. Edgeworth. Winston Payne. We work together at the prosecutor's office.
He's a prosecutor! What brings you here today, Mr. Payne?
What indeed? Why, only the invitation of the chief prosecutor himself.
His voice. I recognize it from the tape recording. Was he one of the men who was standing in front of Miss Lloyd? And where is the chief prosecutor?
He had to leave, I'm afraid. He's a busy man. They let him and only him out through the corridor.
So he had me summoned on short notice and then left before I even showed up. Rude.
Yeah, well, what the hell was he doing here? You even gotta pick through the trash yourself? Prosecutor's life ain't easy, huh?
Detective Gumshoe.
Right away, sir!
The faithful detective scrabbles with the garbage as the prosecutor looks on, his hands unblemished.
Let's see now. Come to Papa, little treasures. Is he enjoying himself? Bingo! A popsicle stick! I love the jokes they put on these. Detective. Sorry, sir. Relevant evidence. Relevant evidence. Huh? I think we got something. Good work, detective. Let's take a closer look, shall we? By examining a piece of evidence from all angles, we can uncover hidden details. We sure can. Just tell me which way you want it, sir. We can rotate the item with the right analog stick. If you want, I can move it closer or further away, too. I can use L to examine an object up close and R to move out for the bigger picture. When you spot something, just say the word. I can point out suspicious areas with the cursor and press A to inspect them more closely. Alright, let's see what we can discover. This is a document of some kind. What are we looking at here? Presidential security plan? It's a diagram of the president's security arrangements. It shows how the president's bodyguards were positioned. It even has his people's names on it. Rook and Knight. So his bodyguards aren't natives of Shangfa. I heard he uses some private
security firm.
But why not employ people from his own country?
I know why not. Want to hear a little Tabby Lloyd exclusive?
You really know something?
Sure I do. I was over at their embassy not so long back sniffing out a story. While I'm there, one of my sources tell me that the president's got more enemies than you got hairs on your head, including a bunch of bigwigs in the National Police Force.
Interesting. So he's unable to trust his own domestic law enforcement? I wonder if one of those enemies could have been behind the attempt on his life. We got the security plan. But what was it doing dumped there in that bag? You raise an interesting point. It's a document relating to a matter of national security. It would surely be highly classified.
Huh? Hey, there's something else in here. My. What's a gun doing in there? Sir, this bag, it's gotta belong to the...
Yes, it could well have been disposed of by our would-be assassin. A revolver. It would have taken a lot of nerve to dump it here amidst all the chaos. Could this be the work of a professional?
That would explain the security plan too.
I think we need to take a very close look at our latest find. Agreed. 2 spent bullets in the cylinder matching the 2 gunshots heard on the recording.
That proves it. This must be the weapon that was used.
Now we need to check a look up top. This is a laser sight. It can be lined up with a target to make aiming a bit easier. If I press this here...
Yup, definitely a red laser.
Could the assassin have used a laser sight to target the president? Revolver data has been jotted down.
That bag was a real find, huh? This goes to show. A bag in the hand is worth 2 in the trash.
Nice work, detective. Now, there's something else I'd like to ask of you if you don't mind. I need you to take the bag and the gun to forensics to see if they can find any prints.
On it, sir.
A good set of fingerprints could really help this investigation along.
Got the results for you, sir. That was quick.
You bet it was.
Told the text it was ultra super high priority. But, they came up empty.
And they checked everywhere?
Inside and outside, top to bottom, sir. They even took the bullets out of the gun and dusted them.
I should have known it wouldn't be that easy. You're right. Let's check with the camera guy. You're with one of the news channels?
Yup. Can I help you?
You must have footage of the event. Do you mind if I take a look?
Wish I could help you, but that might be a little tricky. And what's that, huh, pal? You got a problem with doing your civic duty or something?
No, it's just that my camera was knocked over in all the panic. And now I can't get it to work. That footage would have helped immensely.
Gah! Just our luck.
What the?
You look like you need a little help, Mr. Edgeworth.
I know that voice.
Kay! Honestly, I leave you alone for 2 seconds, but don't worry, your hero's here to save the day. That's right, the one, the only, Kay Faraday.
Hero? Only you would give yourself a title like that. So you're not a great thief anymore?
Not right now, but it's not like I quit. I'm just on sabbatical. I'm taking time out for some intensive training. Being the second Yatagarasu doesn't come easy.
Kay helped me out on a few occasions about 2 weeks ago when I was working a case. The case of the Yatagarasu, a mysterious thief who seemed to appear and disappear at will, and who claimed only to steal the truth. She calls herself the second Yatagarasu, the successor to the so-called Great Thief.
There's not a lock I can't open or a trap I can't escape. And when it comes to stealing, well, I'm still in training, but I'll get there soon enough.
What are you doing here, Kay?
What do you think I'm doing? I've been enjoying the festivities, of course.
I suppose she did mention being fond of such things.
And afterwards, I was thinking of dropping by your office to see you guys. But now I don't have to.
Good to see you, kiddo. You're as bright and breezy as ever.
Hey, Gummy, how you been? You looking pretty full of beans yourself.
So, Kay, are you really here to save the day?
Yup. Prepare for your jaw to hit the floor. Your best pal in the world here only went and took pictures of the whole shebang.
Did you now? Then you better show them to me.
Wow, your jaw didn't even drop an inch. What's a girl gotta do to impress you, huh? I know, right? Mr. Prosecutor here is about as much fun as a dang toothache. Won't even let me call him Chief. But I'm forgetting my manners. Tabby Lloyd, Ace Reporter, at your service. Nice to meet you, Tabby. You're right, he's no fun at all. This one time he...
You two can chat later. Kay, can I see those pictures?
Boo! Fine, here. I took this one right when the gun went off. It was total chaos. People running everywhere.
the president and his 2 bodyguards. The names on the security plan were Knight and Rook, I think. What's that? Thank you indeed, Kay. I think you've provided us with a vital clue.
Whoo-wee! Your eyes just lit up like a ping of old dang Christmas trees. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, care to tell the readers what you've spotted?
A contradiction.
Huh? What now? I don't see nothing strange.
Allow me to show you. This picture shows the moment of the incident, but another piece of evidence shows something different. I need to highlight the point of contradiction, and then employ my powers of deduction. First, to find the contradiction in the photograph. Which is right? Yes, this is it. I'll simply press X to make my deduction. Now to present the evidence that proves the contradiction. Simple. A newspaper clipping.
Eureka!
Look closely at the picture of the president in this newspaper clipping, if you would, Miss Lloyd. Now look at Kay's photograph. Compare the 2 carefully.
Huh? What am I looking for here?
Well, I'll be. Indeed, there's something on the president's forehead. Something that wasn't here, there, in the other picture. What is that? Some kind of birthmark?
Yeah, guy's got a big red birthmark right in the middle of his forehead.
I highly doubt a birthmark just sprang up there since the other picture was taken. Did he get bitten by a bug then, maybe?
Yeah, that's it. That right there's a big old bug bite. And here I thought it was something important. The look on your face.
You should know that the road to the truth is paved with just such seemingly trivial details.
Ooh, again with the face. All right. Duly noted, Chief.
Kay's photograph has been jotted down. Now we need to do a little logic. First things first, the laser sight and the red birthmark. I have solved the mystery of the red birthmark. Really? So it wasn't a bug bite? No, what we're dealing with isn't something that would itch for a day and then disappear. It is, in fact, the beam of a laser sight. Then our killer was aiming to shoot the president square in the forehead? And shortly after this picture was taken, a second shot rang out. Yeah, that's gonna do more of an itch. Indeed, I fear the president may be in even more danger than we thought. And that the gun we found was the weapon used in the crime. Revolver data updated. Why would the perp use a laser sight, though?
He's right. You'd stand out like crazy using something like that. Pew, pew, pew. It's not like you can just go around shooting lasers all over the place.
No, and anyone who saw it could trace it right back to the shooter. Seems like a pretty bad idea all around.
Oh, I almost forgot. I took a couple more pictures. Maybe the laser sight's in one of them.
It's a long shot, but it's worth a look at least. All right, Kay, let's see these other pictures.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Let's see. First up, here's one I took just before everything started going south.
It might be more useful to us if half the frame wasn't taken up with your face.
Hey, can you blame me for wanting to get a selfie with the president? Lucky for you, this was right before the gun went off. And this one I showed you before is just from after the first shot was fired. The second shot came just seconds after this. Then there's...
What's this? I can hardly see anything.
I got knocked over when everyone started running right after the last picture. Guess I must have pressed the shutter by accident.
Not sure this one's gonna be much use, kid.
And that's all of them.
Kay's photographs are updated in the organizer. Time to take a closer look. Let's examine the picture from before the shooting. Is there any hint of the laser sight here in this picture? Yeah, right here.
Take that!
There, I see it. What is it, sir? Look closely at the person with the red hood.
Whoa, there it is!
Indeed, that's our laser sight right there. So that's our perp. The one in the red hood must be the shooter. Yes.
We found them! All thanks to yours truly.
Indeed. You led us right to the greatest treasure of all, Miss Great Thief. the truth. You may have captured our would-be assassin in one of your other pictures, too. Let's take another look. Our red-hooded suspect could be in another one of these photographs from after the shooting. Is the person with the red hood here somewhere? Right here. Look! Right there! A red jacket. That must be our suspect. Looks like they took advantage of the confusion to make their getaway. Luckily, we can see exactly where they were headed.
Ah, the samurai dog stand.
Precisely, which means they escaped towards the right-hand side of the spectator area. Detective Gumshoe.
On it, sir. Consider it cleared.
Good, I'm counting on you. We're making a lot of progress with this. We have you now, my little Red Riding Hood. The entire park is cordoned off and we know which way you went. Now it's simply a matter of hunting you down. Now, let us continue our investigation.
There's evidence here somewhere. All we have to do is find it.
Like here. I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Like this button? What's this? A red button?
Hey, do you think... could it have been dropped by a red-hooded suspect?
Yes, it certainly seems... Could it have been dropped by a red-hooded suspect? Yes, it certainly seems likely. Yeah, I fibbed. I'm trying my best with all these voices. There's something red down there. Detective Gumshoe, can you see what that is under the stand, please?
There's something down here, all right. Let's see.
A red raincoat. This must be the one the suspect was wearing. They must have taken it off and hidden it under there before they made their escape. Yup. And now it's time we need to do a little bit of logic. Oh wait, no, not yet. I forgot. There's something else missing. The sleeve. It's inside out. The button is missing too. Okay, now we can do it. Connect the red button with the sleeve. The button we found seems to have come from this raincoat. It must have been pulled loose when the killer took it off.
Huh? The right sleeve's inside out too.
It seems it was removed in a hurry, fast enough to tear a button off, no less. I surmise our assassin disposed of their gun and bag in the trash immediately after shooting at the president. They then slipped into the panicked crowd and moved from the left to the right side of the spectator area. This was because they knew the trajectory of the bullet would point to a shooter on the left side. Finally, they removed the raincoat and hid it under the samurai dog stand. The killer would have needed to get rid of the coat as soon as possible, hence its hurried removal. The fact that the right sleeve is inside out is a testament to how quickly it was taken off.
Yep, and the missing button.
The question, of course, is, why didn't the same thing happen to the left sleeve?
Oh yeah, only the right sleeve's inside out.
Indeed, and the button on the left sleeve is still securely attached.
So, what does this mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
If we're to answer that question, Detective, we'll need to inspect the raincoat in more detail. Yeah, like so. The right sleeve's inside out, and you can clearly see where the button was torn off. Yes, whoever discarded this raincoat did so in quite a hurry. Wait. Here. Let's take a closer look at the inside of the raincoat. Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, sir.
Wait, what's this? This is a blood stain. And considering where it's located, I'd say the blood belongs to our would-be assassin.
So we're looking for someone with an injury?
Not just any injury, Detective. An injury on their left arm.
Huh? How do we know that?
It's simple. The right sleeve is inside out, suggesting that the suspect removed the raincoat in a hurry. Conversely, the left sleeve is just as we would expect it to be. Therefore, The suspect's left arm was never in the sleeve in the first place. And once we understand that, everything else falls into place. Now, Detective, there is a blood stain on the left side lining of the raincoat because the suspect's arm was too injured to fit through the sleeve? Precisely. Or at least we can say that there is a good probability that was the case. Red raincoat data updated. The pieces are starting to fall into place. Investigation complete. Detective Gumshoe, I need you to go and search the crowd for likely suspects. Yes, sir. Suspicious characters with injured left arms coming right up.
You're even smarter than you look, Ruffles. Taking all them itty-bitty pieces and putting them together like that. You'll have your man in no time. That's Mr. Edgeworth for you.
The park is still cordoned off, so a would-be assassin should be in the crowd somewhere. Don't let me down, Detective Gumshoe. March 25th, 3:27 p.m., Gourd Lake, spectator area.
Mr. Edgeworth, we found someone who fits the bill perfectly, sir.
Way to nab the assassin, Gummy.
Hold on, Kay. It's a little too soon to be jumping to conclusions. For the moment, they're a person of interest and nothing more. Understood?
Okay. No jumping. But he's our shooter, sir. I'm sure of it. He's the guy who tried to take out the president.
But he's our shooter, sir. I'm sure of it. He's the guy who tried to take out the president.
Sorry, line fibbed again. In broad daylight, surrounded by a crowd of witnesses. This is no ordinary assassin. Bring him over here, Detective. Carefully.
Yes, sir. Come on, boys. You heard Mr. Edgeworth.
No umbrella, and a bandage on his left arm.
Well, pal, state your name already.
Doe. John Doe. Charmed, I'm sure. John Doe, not a name you often hear in real life. That's correct. I know this man from somewhere. I'm sure of it. And you are Prosecutor Edgeworth. You know my name? Of course. I have been following the day's developments with some interest. Now, perhaps you'd care to explain why you've asked to speak with me? As you've been following our investigation, you're no doubt already aware of who we're looking for. So let me ask you, do you recognize this raincoat by any chance? Forgive me, but I am afraid I do not. I see. Well, I believe its owner to be the would-be assassin we are seeking. My. Well, isn't that just shocking? And this same would-be assassin happens to have an injured left arm, just like you. All I can tell you is that I had nothing to do with this unfortunate affair.
The two adversaries stare each other down, their eyes like deadly lasers. Care to tell the readers what happens next?
A showdown, that's what. A battle of wits. A battle of words.
Dare I let him explain any further what he thinks this upcoming battle will entail?
In a battle of wits, you never know if or when the other guy might be lying or just plain mistaken. But if you spot an inconsistency in a statement in theirs, you gotta present the evidence that proves it.
And to do that, I'll need to first open my organizer with the R button, then press X to present my evidence.
And what if there ain't no inconsistencies to find?
Then you change tack, press for more information, and see what you can shake loose.
Indeed, I can press my opponent with the L button.
Why don't you show us how it's done, Mr. Edgeworth?
Stepping up to bat, our nation's top prosecutor.
Once I am able to quietly gather my thoughts, yes. Argument. Doe's deposition. I can understand why whoever wore the raincoat would be of interest to you. But you have no proof that this person is injured as you claim. My left arm may be injured, but I can still use my right. When it started raining, I simply opened my umbrella. No raincoat required. So you contend that you were not wearing a raincoat. Is that correct? It is. And is that so strange? Not everyone wears one after all. I happen to prefer an umbrella.
Team Raincoat over here. They're perfect for when a girl really needs to move. Heck, I don't use neither. Come rain, sleet, snow, or shine, it's my trusty parka every time.
Not exactly the line of inquiry I was hoping to pursue. So you see, I am not your would-be killer. And I'm not in the habit of making baseless accusations, Mr. Doe. Please, I am just a simple ice cream Oh my. Forgive me. My wound seems to have begun bleeding again in all the excitement. The owner of the Raincoat is definitely our assassin, and said owner also has an injured left arm. I'm on to you, Mr. Doe. It's only a matter of time. Rebuttal. Let's see how we handle this. I can understand why whoever wore the Raincoat would be of interest to you. But you have no proof that this person is as injured as you claim. Here's the thing. I can prove that. With this.
Objection!
You seem like a careful man, Mr. Doe. But not quite careful enough. After all, you left something behind. Something of vital importance. I'm afraid you must have me confused with somebody else. The coat does not belong to me. Or do you claim to have some kind of proof to support your accusation? Your arm isn't troubling you too much, I know. Your wound seems to be bleeding again. I'll survive, although I can't pretend it's not something of an inconvenience. You have my deepest sympathies, because if it wasn't bleeding quite so badly, you could have perhaps made a clean getaway. What exactly are you insinuating? As we have already established, whoever wore the Raincoat is injured. And now I can prove that person was you, with this decisive piece of evidence. You see, Mr. Doe, there is a small amount of blood on the inside of his Raincoat. Blood that belongs to our assassin. Just wow. Attempted murder of a foreign leader? Causing a diplomatic incident? They'll throw up the book at you! You can give us the silent treatment all you like, but we don't need you to talk. A simple blood test will give us the answer we require. All it takes is for us to compare the blood on your bandages with that on the coat, and that will be that. We have the evidence. Why don't you make it easier on all of us and come clean? Admit that you were the one who attempted to assassinate the president of Shangfa. I am not your assassin. You're stubborn, I'll give you that. But if this were a game of chess, you would already be in checkmate. Now do the honorable thing and admit defeat. He doesn't look like a man with no moves left to play. Very well. You have me. I'll admit it, I was wearing the Raincoat. He confessed! Say the word and I'll slap the cuffs on him right now! But I did not shoot at the president. What? Mr. Edgeworth, the only thing you have proven is that I was wearing a particular Raincoat. And as far as I'm aware, that is not a crime. Argument. Doe's deposition. Part 2. I am no assassin. I am a simple ice cream seller. One who happened to be wearing a red raincoat while watching the president speak. I was as surprised as anyone when his bodyguards sprang into action and the shots rang out. That's when the spectators panicked and started running and screaming for their lives. Now, are you finally satisfied that I am telling the truth?
As if! Your story stinks! You don't scare me! The evidence is on our side, you know. Look, it's right there, plain as day, the assassin, and they're wearing a red raincoat.
Intriguing, but that is not me.
Oh, come on!
Tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, do you really think I was the only one in the entire park wearing a red raincoat today? I do, actually. But then why? Why does he seem so sure of himself? Well, let's find out in our rebuttal. I am no assassin. I am a simple ice cream seller. One who happened to be wearing a red raincoat while watching the president speak. I was as surprised as anyone when his bodyguards sprang into action and the shots rang out.
Hold it!
So you saw the bodyguards move before you heard the gunshots? Yes, if I recall correctly, they moved first. At least, the one on the left did. You're rather observant, Mr. Doe. I am blessed with keen eyes. The names of the bodyguards were written in the top left corner of the security panel, and the one on the left was Rook. That's correct. Bastion Rook, I believe. I expect he noticed the light from a laser sight. The man is no amateur. Mr. Doe knows a little too much about the business of being a bodyguard for my liking. I'd say our friend here is no amateur either. I'd like you to append with what you just said to your testimony, if you don't mind. As you wish. The bodyguard on the left, Bastion Rook, was it? Was especially quick to respond. As am I!
Objection!
As I suspected, you are more than what you claim to be, Mr. Doe. You overestimate me, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, then tell me how a simple ice cream seller knows one of the presidential bodyguard's names. What? You jest, surely. You were the one who spoke their names aloud. Rook and Knight, was it?
Objection!
We only know those names thanks to the security plan. But look closely, only their surnames appear. Yet we all clearly heard you say the name Bastion Rook. How do you come to possess such information? Information we ourselves didn't have.
Seems pretty darn suspicious to me.
Well, how did you know? Explain yourself. It was merely a slip of the tongue.
Another lie. He is the assassin, just like we said.
Come now, miss. It's a little soon to be jumping to such conclusions. I did know their names, yes, and the reason for that is, well, I know Mr. Rook. He and I are acquainted. What? We have something of a connection, and it is a name I could never forget.
You think we're stupid, pal? Stop lying!
I am not lying. I am, as I have always been, a simple ice cream seller, and an acquaintance of Bastion Rook. Yes.
Objection!
And I suppose Mr. Rook will confirm that? It should be easy enough for him to remember his good friend, the slippery ice cream seller, correct? Please, you are more than welcome to ask him, although I think that might be difficult right now. I would imagine he's rather busy ensuring the president's safety. But suppose you're able to speak with him, and he does deny that he and I are acquainted. How will that help you prove I was the shooter?
Objection!
If you weren't the shooter, why take off your raincoat? Because it was no longer raining. In fact, it had grown quite warm. Far better let my wound breathe, no? Or would you rather I had let it fester?
Is he actually going to worm his way out of this?
What are you waiting for, Mr. Edgeworth? Hurry up and arrest the man. He's clearly guilty. If I were you, he'd be in jail already.
You might be willing to arrest a man without sufficient proof, but I am not.
No! Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, there's gotta be something you can do. Shocking scenes here as the culprit seems all but certain to escape justice.
It seems the court of public opinion has spoken. Very well. As I will clearly be viewed with suspicion no matter what I say, I might as well share what I know. What you know? What's his angle here? I saw them. I saw another person with a red hood.
Are you kidding?
It's the person you captured in your photograph. I first noticed them just before the president's speech began. It was still raining then. Their outfit was the same color as my own, which is what drew my attention, as did the laser beam that was aimed directly at the president's head. He's claiming there was another red-hooded person? Preposterous! I knew that if anyone saw me dressed similarly to this individual, I could fall under suspicion myself, and so naturally I removed my raincoat.
Objection!
So not only did you see the assassin, but they were wearing exactly the same thing as you? How very convenient. I have thought you might find it far-fetched, hence my not mentioning it until now. I know you law enforcement people are very skeptical types. You would never have believed me. Especially not if I had said that the shooter was standing right next to a certain person. Well, I know you don't mean me. I wasn't even summoned until after the shooting. No, not you, Mr. Edgeworth. Your colleague over there.
Huh? Me?
Yes, the photograph will prove it, I am sure. You see? Right there in front of the person with the red hood.
That's me! Yes, but what exactly are you saying?
What's his endgame here? As I mentioned, I have been following your investigation with some interest, Mr. Edgeworth. And while pondering the details, I noticed something strange. Strange? What exactly? Come now. A man of your talent should be more than capable of spotting a contradiction such as this. I'm afraid I don't follow. The picture shows the chief prosecutor, Mr. Payne, and the shooter.
But there's nothing weird about that, is there?
Think carefully. The picture was taken right in the middle of the president's speech. One of the other pieces of evidence you gathered is inconsistent with what we see here. What is Mr. Doe talking about? What piece of evidence is inconsistent with that in the picture? Yeah, I think I know. Miss Lloyd's tape.
Take that!
Ah, of course! The tape. It contradicts the photograph. Ah, so have you noticed at last?
What's he going on about, Mr. Edgeworth?
Someone's missing. Someone who should be here.
Huh? But who?
Who indeed? The person who is missing from the photograph is Tabby Lloyd.
Take that!
Huh?
Miss Lloyd?
How do you figure that?
Mr. Payne's voice can clearly be heard on Miss Lloyd's tape. Considering that he was conducting a private conversation with the chief prosecutor.
Oh, was these two old guys standing right in front of me. They were whispering away to each other the whole darn time.
She must have been very close indeed to capture it on tape.
You're right, but she's not in the picture.
Precisely. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you still believe that you have been hounding the right person? Miss Lloyd, would you mind answering a few questions?
Whoa, y'all are fixing to put me under the microscope now? Alright, sure. Knock yourselves out. I got nothing to hide.
Argument. Miss Lloyd's testimony.
It ain't like I was standing still the whole time. No, I was running all over, roving reporter style, and that was a big old crowd. Guess the picture must have been taken while I was in one spot and the tapes from where I was in another. So quit giving me the evil eye. Ain't nothing but a misunderstanding.
There's no doubt about the voices on the tape. That was Mr. Payne and the chief prosecutor, I'm certain of it.
Tabby wouldn't lie to us. I know she wouldn't. But if she did, that would mean
That she's our perp!
will y'all quit messing with me as if I could have done a thing like that, little old me?
I might be inclined to believe you if your testimony didn't contain a glaring inconsistency.
It does? I thought it was pretty good.
Seems I have no choice but to present her with the evidence and expose the contradiction. Time for the rebuttal.
It ain't like I was standing still the whole time. No, I was running all over roving reporter style, and that was a big old crowd. Guess the picture must have been taken while I was in one spot, and the tapes from where I was in another.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is one of the few instances you can prove either using the tape or the photographs. I'm choosing the tape.
Objection!
Miss Lloyd, it's imperative for a reporter not to lie, wouldn't you say?
You're dang right it is, and I don't lie.
And yet the photograph and the recording were definitely taken at the same time.
What? You can't prove that.
Oh, but I can. The evidence is right here in these pictures. This one in particular shows something that lines up precisely with what you were making when you were making your recording. What part of the picture indicates that it must have been taken at the same time as Miss Lloyd's recording? The president's raised right arm.
Take that!
See here? The president has his fist raised.
And what about it?
Would you be so kind as to play us the tape again?
It ain't that simple.
What if I were to tell you that you don't have a choice?
You don't make it easy, do you, Ruffles?
Remember, we are concerned with the moment the president raised his fist.
No criminal organization, no matter how big, is above the law.
The president thrusts his fist into the air as the excitement reaches fever pitch.
There! That's the moment right there!
Correct. We've now confirmed when it occurred in the recording.
Which means Tabby should be in the picture too.
And she is, right there for all to see. For Miss Lloyd is in fact the person with the red hood.
What?
So you're our shooter, huh?
No, I don't even own a jacket like that.
That's right. From everything we know, the owner of the red raincoat is John Doe. We have already proven that the raincoat belongs to Mr. Doe. You, Miss Lloyd, were wearing something else. Something that also happened to have a red hood.
So there were two people with red hoods all along?
Indeed. Mr. Doe's last statement was true.
Wait, but we only found one raincoat. Where's the other one?
Our ice cream seller never mentioned a raincoat, only a red hood. So tell us about your jacket again, Miss Lloyd.
Huh? This whole thing? Well, the best thing about it, like I said, is if you get mud and such on it, it's reversible, see? So you just turn it inside out and... Yay!
Just as I thought.
The inside of her hood, it's red!
That's right. And when the incident occurred, that's the side of the hood that was visible.
What's going on here? What were you really up to, huh, pal?
Wait, I never even wore it that way round.
Perhaps if you would allow us to examine it, we could confirm that for ourselves.
And y'all are gonna confirm that how exactly?
It was raining right up until the president's speech, correct? That much has been established already. And as you yourself said...
Heck, I don't use neither. Come rain, sleet, snow, or shine, it's my trusty Parker every time.
If you haven't reversed your parka since the rain, then the inside should be dry.
Wait a sec now. I got this big old pack back on, see? So I can't take off my jacket. Yeah, maybe I could show y'all some other time?
You think an excuse that weak is gonna wash with Mr. Edgeworth? Well, what are you waiting for? If you're innocent, take it off and show us.
It wasn't me. I swear, I never shot the dang president. I could never.
If that's true, Miss Lloyd, then your best option is to cooperate and tell us the truth. Is there a particular reason why you chose to wear a parka with a red hood here today?
I'm sorry, Ruffles. There's something I never told you. Something I couldn't. But I'll come clean. I promise. Just go easy on me now, you hear?
Who said that? Who said that?
Hold your horses. It's a little soon for the end game. That goes for you too, Mr. Prosecutor. You lost this one the moment you made your opening move. That's one of the men from Case Photograph. Yes, I'd better introduce myself.
What is he, Ocelot?
The name's Bronco Knight. I'm the president's personal bodyguard and second in command of his security detail.
Yeah. Point that thing someplace else, pal. What the heck's wrong with you?
Sorry, can't help myself. It's just too much fun being this good. You're not a member of law enforcement, so how did you get a gun? This old girl's on loan from Zhangfa, temporarily issued was presidential bodyguards. Anyway, never mind that. I got 2 tidbits of news for you. You want the good or the bad first? Choice is yours. I'm indifferent, whichever you prefer. Really? You're giving up the first move advantage just like that? Whatever, you're lost. Guess I'll push out the first pawn then. So you play a little chess, I take it. Ah, fellow fan, are you, Mr. Red Suit? The name's Edgeworth, and you could say I dabble. Duly noted, Mr. Edgeworth. Alright, I'll start with the good news. The president's okay. Didn't suffer so much as a scratch. He didn't? That's a relief. Particularly for the young lady here, that means there is no longer a murder charge on the table.
That is good news, huh, Tabby? Yeah, 'cause I'd never.
Now for the bad news. The only reason the president's alive is because we bodyguards did our job. One of us did, anyhow. Our boss put himself in the line of fire. You're referring to your colleague, Mr. Rook? Yeah, it's game over for him. No way! Rook is dead? A genuine loss.
So, you're saying that Tabby...
Yeah, your friend here killed my colleague, my brother in arms.
Aw, heck no! I didn't do it! I didn't kill anybody! I could never!
I'd shut my mouth if I were you, murderer. Sure, we did what we had to do, sacrificed one of our pieces to protect the king. But to lose someone like him during a castling? It's a real shame. Castling? What's that even mean? It's a chess term. Very simplistically speaking, it's a move where a rook switches places with the king. Then why didn't he just say so? Mr. Knight, was it? Yeah? What? We'll need to see the victim's body right away. And if possible, I'd like to ask the president a few questions. Sorry, no can do. And why not? That's the third piece of news. And it's the piece you're gonna like the least. I thought you said there were only 2. The National Police Force of Shangfa will be handling things from here. What? You better be kidding, pal! This investigation was assigned to us. We're not about to hand it over. You're the Edgeworth, right? The one who solved the Yadagarasu case? The president mentioned you. I'm honored to have warranted his attention. Makes sense that the chief prosecutor would assign this one to you. Wait, did the chief assign me to appease the president? That was a mistake. A big one. He should have given the case to somebody with a spine. You're free to take it up with President Wang, if you enjoy diplomatic incidents, that is. You're coming with me. We'll continue this on the presidential plane.
No! No. I never did nothing. I swear.
We can do this the hard way if you like, but in Shangfa, justice is served, one way or the other.
Ruffles, come on. You gotta help me out here. Please.
Miss Lloyd, she was the one in the red hood. There's no denying that now. But I can't help feeling we still don't know the whole truth behind this case.
I'm innocent. You gotta believe me.
Can I really let this happen? Is this really how it ends? The look in her eyes, the crack in her voice as she begs me to help her. This is no act by a criminal. She's genuinely scared. And if I let him take her, we'll never know what really happened.
Yay!
What? Huh? What the? Get your filthy hands off of... Quiet now. Is that really any way to greet me? Your neck has barely begun to heal and you've already forgotten who I am. I'm disappointed. It's you! Ah, so you do remember. What do you think you're doing, pal? Put the knife down and give it up. You got some nerve pulling a stunt like this in front of a bunch of police officers. Don't even think about it. You don't stand a chance against this guy.
Who are you really, Mr. Doe?
Let's just say that I'm no simple ice cream seller. The guy's a pro, a hitman. His name's Shelly the Killer. The Killer. There's not a legal professional in the country who doesn't know that name. An assassin capable of taking down any target, any place, any time. This isn't the first time our paths have crossed. It's been too long, Mr. Edgeworth. But of course, this is the first time we've met face to face. You're the assassin we've been looking for? In a sense, yes. A certain someone did indeed hire me to carry out a contract. And that contract did indeed specify that I was to assassinate President Wang. I swear I've seen his picture in one of my old files before, but how could I have been so careless? My bandage provided proved useful for bringing a knife into the park undetected, but I miscalculated in certain other regrets. You didn't bring a gun? Now, shall we play a little game, Mr. Knight? I know how fond you are of such diversions. The stakes must be high in order for it to be fun, of course. Shall we wager, say, your life? What do you want from me? I would like for you to allow Mr. Edgeworth to remain in charge of the case. He what? What are you up to, the Killer? I would simply like our mutual friend to see things through to their conclusion.
Huh? But why?
Bastion Rook was a man of great skill, with whom I felt a certain connection. It is only right for the truth behind his death be brought to light. With Mr. Rook's departure, the case is now yours to investigate. Is it not, Mr. Knight? I'm simply asking you to transfer that authority to Mr. Edgeworth. It's not something worth losing your life over, sure. You're just using the investigation as an excuse to get close to the president. Am I really? I suppose it is true that in order for the investigation to proceed, we will need to enter the presidential plane. You think I'm gonna let you near him? I'm his chief bodyguard! Are you? And here I thought you were only second in command. Rook's not around. That means I'm number one. I wonder if you have what it takes to step into such capable shoes. You? Of course I do! I'm the leader now! Me! If that is indeed the case, then I would ask that you make a choice worthy of a leader. Will you needlessly throw away your life, or will you allow the investigation to continue? Is he really doing this to gain access to the president? Does he even need to? What is he plotting? You have no objections, I trust, Mr. Edgeworth. Come, let us continue the investigation. What do we do, sir? It would seem we have little choice but to do as we're told. That said, listen, detective, and listen well. I'll buy us some time as I investigate. Meanwhile, you gather the other officers. Have them surround the plane and make absolutely certain that there is no way he can escape. Yes, sir. You got it. This is gonna have me be going through hell. Thankfully, I can transfer the demo's data to the full game, which is what I'm doing. And yeah, there is a save file here for Turnabout Visitor. So for the sake of things here, we'll be using file 2. That is it. Why couldn't they make 2 separate sets of save files for 2 different games? I don't know why. But either way, that is it. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to hit the like button. It means a lot. Please do not forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the bell. I will see you when we reach the full game. And that's not going to happen for a while. After the first game, then I'm doing the second. Just saying. This is MegamanNG signing off. Peace out.